What have been three of the biggest surprises for the Buccaneers through the first 10 weeks of the season? I am James Yarcho, editor-in-chief here at the 813, talking about the biggest surprises I have found through 10 games while the Bucs sit at 4-6. And I think we have to start this one off with Baker Mayfield. He was expected to have a good season, but I don't think anyone expected this. He's tied for the NFL lead in passing touchdowns, on pace for 41 on the season, which would, of course, be a new career high for him. He's tied with Joe Burrow atop the NFL. Burrow has 2 games this season with 5 touchdown passes. Baker doesn't have any games with over 4. He already has 2,500 yards this season. He needs to average 220 yards per game to surpass last season's yardage total, which again would be another career high. So we're talking back-to-back seasons with career highs in yards and touchdowns for Baker Mayfield since joining the Buccaneers. And he's done a lot of this work without Mike Evans and without Chris Godwin. It cannot be overstated how solid and how surprising Baker Mayfield has been this year. The next one to me are the youngsters in the secondary. And I know the defense hasn't been good, but Zion McCollum and Tyke Smith should have Bucs fans excited about the future. Zion is Pro Football Focus's 7th highest graded corner on the season, and Tyke Smith leads all rookies in forced fumbles this year. Tyke has only allowed a touchdown pass in 1 game this season when he was in coverage, when he allowed 2 against the Atlanta Falcons back in week 5. Since then, when available, he's been one of the most reliable players that the Bucs defense has to offer. Zion has allowed just 54% of targets coming his way to be completed, and he leads the team with 10 passes defensed and 2 interceptions. But if he wants to hit that 6th interception mark that he set out for himself at the beginning of the year, he's got some work to do on the back half of the year. Landing another reliable corner to play on the outside opposite of McCollum in the offseason could really elevate this defense for the foreseeable future. And then finally, the failures of the defense. And I didn't say all of these surprises were going to be good, and this Bucs defense certainly is not. One of the bottom 2 defenses in the NFL over the last 6 weeks, and bottom 5 in total defense, passing defense, and scoring defense on the season. They have just 12 takeaways this year, coming off of a season where they had 26, which was good for 9th in the NFL. They were also 7th in scoring defense and 5th in rushing defense in 2023. This year, they aren't in the top half in any category. This is a combination of injury issues. You lost Bryce Hall at the beginning of the season. There were weeks without Kalijah Cansey, Antoine Winfield Jr., Jamel Dean. You lost Vita Vea early in the year before he came back. Then you have the underperformance of KJ Britt. He has not worked out. Yaya Diaby has not lived up to the hype. Jordan Whitehead has not had near the impact that we thought he would. With the additions that they made throughout the draft and free agency, there were high expectations for a Todd Bowles defense to have a stellar year, and instead they're wasting one of the top offenses that the league has to offer.